the registration of journalists across the country, awaiting the list of revalidated members from the 36 councils nationwide, including the Federal Capital Territory, for onward production of their identity cards. According to the statement, the chairman called on journalists to ensure they participate in the exercise, as the outcome will form a compendium for journalists practicing in River State. To other matters now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced the commencement of online accreditation for journalists and media organizations intending to cover the upcoming by-elections scheduled for 16 August 2025. The Commission, via its poster, said the accreditation portal opened today and will remain accessible until midnight of Thursday, 31st July 2025. It advised interested media organizations to submit their applications through the official INEC portal at https://imap.inecnigeria.org. INEC emphasized that late applications will not be considered, as the portal is programmed to shut down automatically at a deadline. Now, female genital mutilation is a crime against the girl child and womanhood, which undermines their dignity, health, and future. Permanent Secretary, River State Ministry of Social Welfare and Rehabilitation, Professor Justina Jambo, made the comment at a 3-day training on ending female genital mutilation held at the Women Affairs Complex in Port Harcourt. Melvin Jackson covered the event.
The permanent secretary, who noted that female gender mutilation has become a norm in the society, causing more harm than good to the girl child in general, said that the River State government has domesticated the law which prohibits harmful practices against the female gender. Professor Jumbo emphasized that the act be put to an end so as not to put the girl's child in harm's way, and noted that the training is a collaborative effort of the UNFPA UNICEF joint program aimed at sensitizing, encouraging and mobilizing communities to key into fostering improved health care for the girl child. She advised participants to carry the message across to the rural dwellers, warning that culprits will be sanctioned according to the law.
We are going to realize that there are some hazards associated with female genital mutilation. So it's a dangerous act. Let's say this is like a training of trainers, because they will go down to cascade what they are being trained today in their various communities. As a law, River State has passed that law. The penalty is in that law. Offenders will be penalized as case may be.
In an interview, Chief Field Office UNICEF Port Harcourt, Anslem Audu, said 60 community-based facilitators who will be sent to communities to retrain others have been organized for the 3 days workshop to equip them against the harmful practice. Facilitators also added that good communication, empathy, and compassion are some key areas to make community-based organizations be able to reach out to rural dwellers, while inclusiveness, flexibility, adaptability, strong leadership, motivational skills, problem-solving skills, and commitment to learning and growth will drive the message to them.
As UNICEF and other partners, we are trying to enlighten them that this is a harmful practice that should not be done, and that no girl or woman should suffer female genital mutilation. What we are doing is an effort towards eradicating female genital mutilation.
Whatever the government has said that we should not do, we will not do it. Because if we do it, we danger the future of our children. Mostly the female will promise to take this measure to our grassroots so that this female gender mutilation will stop in our areas.
But from what I've learned so far, we need to really put in more efforts. The laws have been domesticated, which makes it easy for us to go ahead with more work on totally eradicating the female genital mutilation.
Teaching and learning aids will be presented to the trainees for retraining as the program continues. Melvin Jackson, Rstv News.
Now to national matters. The Senate has promised to continue to consider concurrence bills sent from the House of Representatives, just as the Green Chamber considers Senate bills. Senate leader Okoyemi Bamidele stated this during plenary on Tuesday in response to a recent report from the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives had rejected a bill from the Senate seeking its concurrence, where it expressed frustration over what it described as the Senate's continued disregard of over 146 bills already passed by the House. In his reaction, Bamidele stated that the Senate would ensure that every bill from the House received attention in light of overriding public interest. In his remarks, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, said that they had attended to about 6 such bills last week and would attend to more this week. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has issued a flood alert for the month of July, warning that states including Sokoto, Lagos, Edo, Benue, and 16 others are at risk of experiencing flash floods. This came as the Africa Environmental Health Organization, climate change adaptation researchers, and members of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, among others, lambasted state governments following the recent devastating floods that ravaged several states, calling for an intense scrutiny over the management of ecological funds allocated to affected regions. Findings showed that despite receiving over 620 billion naira in ecological funds, many states seem ill-prepared to mitigate the impact of such disasters, raising questions about the effectiveness of these funds in enhancing environmental resilience and disaster preparedness. NIMET's flash floods risk alert for July 2025, released on Monday, showed that states with varying probable risks of experiencing flash flooding events due to the onset of rainfall across the country. It named Sokoto, Kaduna, Zamfara, Yobe, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Jigawa, Adamawa, Taraba, Niger, Nasarawa, Benue, Ogun, Ondo, Lagos, Delta, Edo, Cross River, Rivers, and Akwa Ibom are states that would experience flooding. The agency advised residents of the states to relocate if necessary, clear drainage systems, prepare emergency kits, turn off electricity and gas during flooding, strengthen mudslide prevention, and promote community awareness. The United States Mission in Nigeria has announced that all applicants for F, M, and J non-immigrant visas must now adjust their social media accounts' privacy settings to public. F, M, and J visas are non-immigrant visa categories issued by the United States government for individuals coming to the country for educational and exchange purposes. The mission stated that applicants in those categories must now set their personal social media profiles to public as part of a new visa requirement. The development, announced by the United States Diplomatic Mission on Nigeria's official X page, noted that the update is effective immediately. The U.S., while earlier announcing the plan for the update in June, maintained that its visa is a privilege, not a right. This is news coming from the studios of Rstv Television. Do you love and care about Rivers State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. It is a task we must accomplish. You can watch Rstv News live on Facebook and YouTube at Rstv Online or Rstv CH22 Online. We'll be back with more news, including ICC ordering the arrest of Taliban's top leadership for prosecuting females in Afghanistan. And in sports news, FIFA Club World Cup is touring New York's Trump Tower. Details in a moment. Don't go away.
I need the police that can respond to emergencies fast.
I want the equipment I need to do my job.
I want a police that won't harass or arrest me for no just reason.
I want to be valued for my work, not feared by honest people.
I want a police that won't ask me anything for the boys.
I want a decent salary that is paid on time.
If it happens with good laws,
Proper funding,
Training.
And cooperation.
if it happens,
If it happens.
If it happens.
When malaria won't show power for your side, it gon' knock you down. I'm a temp salt gel. Me I can tell you no say, malaria medicine we no get bad days or bitter days for mouth, and it dey easy to swallow. Try. I got a game changer. I'm a temp salt gel.
Say no to malaria. Yes to
Power God is here. Dr. Jesus in action, God is here.
1 hour with Dr. Jesus. 1 hour with Dr. Jesus. 1 hour with Dr. Jesus. Omega Power Ministries OPM have started a 1 hour impartation every Sunday. It's a 1 hour of power impartation. It's a 1 hour of prayers that will carry you throughout the week. It's a 1 hour of deliverance that will carry you throughout the week. It's a 1 hour of miracles every Sunday morning, just for 1 hour, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. only. Venue OPM GRA Bank. Number 2, Greg Oboife Street, near Casablanca, GRA 2, Port Harcourt. Come and receive a fresh anointing that will carry you for the week.
OPM. Dr. Jesus in action. Dr. Jesus in action. God is here.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
Many thanks for joining us for more news. The federal government has formally set 16 years as the minimum age for admission into Nigeria's tertiary institutions. Ministry of Education Dr. Tunji Alausa announced this on Tuesday during the 2025 policy meeting of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board held in Abuja. While declaring the meeting open, Dr. Alausa emphasized that the age benchmark is now official and non-negotiable. He warned that any admission carried out outside the central admissions processing system would be considered illegal, and explained that the decision was guided by the need to strike a balance between academic readiness and cognitive maturity. Alausa noted that while the policy would be strictly enforced, exceptions could be made in rare and justifiable cases, and warned against attempts to manipulate age records to beat the new directive. Alausa further stated that heads of institutions found culpable of admission fraud or circumventing caps would be prosecuted in accordance with the law. JAM's annual policy meeting is meant to set guidelines for the conduct of admissions into universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education for the coming academic session. Now to foreign reports. The International Criminal Court, ICC, has issued arrest warrants for 2 of Taliban's top leaders, accusing them of persecuting women and girls in Afghanistan. The Hague-based court said there were reasonable grounds to believe Supreme Leader Haibatullah Akhundzada and Chief Justice Abdul Hakim Haqqani had committed a crime against humanity in their treatment of women and girls since
the International Criminal
2021. In that time, they had implemented a series of restrictions, including on girls over the age of 12 accessing an education and barring women from many jobs. And there have also been restrictions on how far a woman can travel without a male chaperone, and decrees on them raising their voices in public. In a statement, the ICC said that while the Taliban have imposed certain rules and prohibitions on the population as a whole, they have specifically targeted girls and women by reason of their gender, depriving them of fundamental rights and freedoms. The United Nations has previously described the restrictions as being tantamount to gender apartheid. The Taliban government has said it respects women's rights in accordance with their interpretation of Afghan culture and Islamic law. Still from the foreign scene, more than 100 people are confirmed dead, with at least 87 in Kerr County alone, following flash floods in central Texas. Authorities said 5 such efforts are continuing for a 5th day, and dozens of people are still missing. Camp Mystic, a girls' summer camp in the county, confirmed at least 27 girls and staff were among the dead, with 10 children, 1 counselor still missing. Weather conditions are finally forecasted to dry out a bit on Tuesday after days of ongoing rain and threats of further floods. Questions have been raised about whether adequate flood warnings were provided. President Trump has said he will visit the devastated region in company of the First Lady on Friday rather. Now to sports news. The Super Falcons coach Justin Madugu is insisting the team will get better with every game at the 2024 WAFCON in Morocco after their 3-0 win over Tunisia in the first outing on Sunday. Madugu said this during his post-match reaction as the Falcons chase a record-extending 10th WAFCON title. Recall the 2 first-half goals from Asisat Oshoala and Rinshola Babajide, as well as a second-half strike from Chiwendu Ihezuo, were all the Falcons needed to get a perfect start in Casablanca. The win propelled Nigeria to the top of Group B, despite Algeria's 1-0 win over Botswana in the other group game. Nigeria is the most successful nation in the history of the tournament since it became full-scale in 1998, winning 9 of the 12 editions so far and making it to at least the semi-final in every tournament they have played. And still talking sports, the Super Falcons returned to training on Tuesday after observing Monday as rest day. The training session, which was held at the Wellness Center in Oulad Salah, started at 6 p.m. local time, with only the first minutes open to the media. Head coach Justin Madugu allowed the players to cool off following Sunday's 3-0 victory over Tunisia in their opening game at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The Super Falcons are gearing up for their second Group B game against Botswana on Thursday at the Larbi Zolu Stadium, Casablanca, with a kickoff at 8 p.m. Nigerian time. And reports reaching our news desk say the iconic FIFA Club World Cup trophy embarked on a thrilling journey, visiting Trump Tower in New York's Manhattan borough on Monday. According to the report, this stop is part of an epic tour that took place in the home cities of all 32 participating clubs, building anticipation for the final match at MetLife Stadium on Sunday, 13 July. FIFA President Gianni Infantino at a ceremony on Monday said the Club World Cup trophy would be on display from 10 a.m. to 17 p.m. local time from Tuesday at Trump Tower Atrium, 725 Fifth Avenue, New York, where fans would have the opportunity to catch a glimpse of the coveted prize, taking photos and soaking up the excitement ahead of the newly anticipated final. The FIFA president, who was joined on stage at the ceremony by Eric Trump, executive vice president of Trump Organization, and Brazilian footballer great Ronaldo, added that the competition had brought people together to celebrate in harmony. Eric Trump thanked FIFA and Infantino for bringing the tournament to the United States. And that caps it up on tonight's edition of News. Thanks for being there from start to finish. But before I leave, I would like to ask you the question, do you love and care about real estate and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights, because it is a task we must accomplish. A quick reminder now of some of the major reports. The federal government has formally set 16 years as non-negotiable age and official benchmark for entrance into tertiary institutions across the country, warning that any admission carried out outside the central admission processing system would be considered illegal. The United States mission to Nigeria has announced that all applicants for F, M, and J non-immigrant visas must now adjust their social media accounts' privacy settings to public, especially for individuals coming to the country for educational and exchange purposes. We had also informed you that the Nigerian Meteorological Agency has issued a flood alert warning that states including Sokoto, Lagos, Edo, Benue, and 16 others are at risk of experiencing flash floods in the coming days. So please clean your drains. And that's it on the news. Thanks for being a part of it. Bye-bye.
Oil-rich, teeming with wildlife, and home to diverse peoples and cultures.
Both key players